Welcome to our novel, Sons of Power. Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already.
My father came into this world a score of years following the conclusion of the conquest, the firstborn son of King Constantine Alexandros of New Thessaly. Though he was a prince in this Pacific paradise, he was acutely aware of the suffering of the native people, their lands usurped by his ancestors. He was equally pained by the condition of African slaves imported to toil in the fields of their newfound home. To his mind, these were fellow human beings, yet the British treated them as commodities. This inhumane practice did nothing but fan the flames of native resentment. Among the Wahitawahé, slavery was considered a heinous crime, a transgression punishable by eternal damnation. King Constantine shared his son's sentiments. As a devout Christian, he found it deeply troubling that the prosperity of his people was built upon the suffering of the natives. "We are no better than the Ottomans. We are cut from the same cloth. Conquerors and killers," he remarked during a court meeting. His frank and poignant words resonated within the court, and over time, even the natives began to view him with a degree of sympathy. However, this empathetic stance did not sit well with Governor Nathaniel Harrington. He sternly reminded the Thessaly monarch of the agreement that had enabled their joint venture, threatening the king with the full might of the British Empire should he defy it. During this period, a distant cousin of the governor, the Duke of Arlington, arrived in the Victorian realm. He brought with him reinforcements, returning to England with ships laden with gold. It was clear that the colonization was lining the pockets of the British, yet to the Thessaly royalty, this ruthless exploitation was a brutal practice that needed to be curbed. In an endeavor to atone for the sins of his forebears, King Constantine Alexandros orchestrated a meeting with the leaders of the Wahitawahé clan, whose chieftain at the time was Kauri the Wise. Kauri's daughter had been taken to England in 1702 to be reared as a Harrington by none other than the Duke of Arlington himself. The young girl was named Samoa Rhea, and her exile was the punishment for a recent uprising that resulted in the sinking of a British galley. The fallout from this act was so severe it crushed the spirit of the Wahitawahé chieftain. Hoping to mend the wounded spirit of his newfound ally, my grandfather pledged to return his daughter and appointed my father to fulfill this mission. My father was entrusted with the delicate task of infiltrating the Duke's household to ensure the safe return of Princess Samoa, who was but 7 years old at the time. This mission, shrouded in secrecy, was known as the Whispering of Spirits. Over the course of 8 years, meticulous plans were laid out to extricate the young princess from an impending arranged marriage with a Scottish prince. Eventually, the servants of King Constantine Alexandros managed to abduct Lady Samoa from Arlington, leaving England without a trace and setting sail for New Thessaly. Her homecoming was met with great rejoicing from her parents, who pledged eternal friendship with the Palailogos of New Thessaly. The returned princess was kept hidden, residing in a secluded location far from British scrutiny. However, after diligent investigations, the Duke of Arlington began to suspect she had been returned to her parents and tasked his distant cousin, the governor of the Victorian realm, to delve deeper into the matter. This was around the time King Constantine Alexandros passed away, and my father ascended to the throne of New Thessaly in October 1712. The situation rapidly deteriorated when Governor Nathaniel Harrington confirmed the Duke's suspicions. Informants had reported that Princess Samoa was indeed back in the region. This revelation prompted the Duke to dispatch an additional 1,000 redcoats to the Pacific in 1715, all with the singular mission of retrieving his lost princess. In the years following, my father suffered a great personal tragedy when his first wife, Lady Alexandra, died in childbirth along with their baby boy. After a decade of marriage marred by 3 miscarriages, this loss plunged the King of New Thessaly into a deep depression. For the next 4 years, he did not remarry, instead focusing on securing the safety of the Wahitawahé from Duke William's wrath. The Duke, having connected the dots between my father's presence in France during the princess's abduction, declared him an enemy of the British crown. He demanded my father be deposed in favor of my uncle, Prince Makarios. This proposition was met with mixed responses at court. While a minority agreed, others could not stomach my father's sympathetic stance towards the natives. After surviving an assassination attempt in 1716, my father was forced to flee court with his supporters. They sought refuge among the natives within the vast Victorian realm. The circumstances ignited a brutal revolt led by Prince Kauri's forces aiming to regain their independence. This uprising, known as the First Attempt, resulted in a bloody massacre. With all of his sons dead, an aged Prince Kauri was left disheartened. However, hope was kept alive in his only daughter, Princess Samoa. My father was taken by the princess, and with Prince Kauri's blessing, they married in late March 1719. I was the result of this union, born on the first day of 1720. Representing the hope of a powerful alliance between the Palailogos and the Wahitawahé dynasties, I was revered by both the Wahitawahé and Thessalians and dubbed the Son of Power. My early years were spent on the move as we evaded British forces. My mother taught me about her lineage, while my father ensured I understood the significance of mine. Your blood is that of an Eastern Roman emperor. Your story is written with letters of gold and blood. Claim your spot, and let fate do the rest, he told me one night. It was then that I understood why English was spoken among the Thessalian nobles of Byzantine descent. They were all descendants of Richard I, who had risen to prominence during the War of the Roses. When Prince Kauri passed away, the legacy of the Wahitawahé dynasty lived on through me. I became the most valued treasure among the natives who were willing to sacrifice their lives for my safety. To protect me from discovery, I was taken to New Iberia, the second largest colony in South America, under Iberian control. At odds with the British, General Alejandro Costa Harrington Valdez, a distant cousin of my father, warmly welcomed us in 1730. General Costa saw potential in me and began my training in modern warfare. My mother enlisted as well, driven by a desire for revenge for her fallen siblings. My father visited us twice, each visit resulting in the birth of a sister, Princess Safina and Princess Faye. At the age of 15, in 1735, I joined the Iberian Navy to gain practical experience as a fighter, taking active part in combat against the British in the Caribbean from 1737. However, in the spring of 1740, we received sad news from Wahitawahé. My father, the rightful king of New Thessaly, had succumbed to his wounds sustained during an intense battle. In the wake of his death, my mother and I returned to Wahitawahé, where we were welcomed by the leading clans. I was then arranged to be married to Lady Priscilla of House Papadopoulos, a powerful ally and another branch of the Palailogos dynasty descending from Lord Richard I. At the age of 21, I became a father to Prince Kauri Alexandros.
In the next episode, we will watch as Kauri Alexandros takes on the full might of the British Pacific Company, with the ultimate goal to free the realm of Wahitawahé from colonialism. If you enjoy this novel, help support our channel by becoming our newest subscriber and hitting that thumbs up button. Let us know in the comments section who your favorite character so far is. Until next time, cheers.